And it will be the easiest, most readily available way for anyone in the state of California to acquire a SIG P320 style firearm. Okay, so I have been under NDA for a while now, and I'm glad that I can finally talk about this. If you're in the state of California, you understand the limitations of the handgun roster and how difficult that can be to work around, and you appreciate when companies go above and beyond and get things on the roster, like with the Camden Defense, the Juggernaut, the companies that do single shot exemptions, and the big name that has been around and did it first, Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory was known for their CA7, CA11, and CA12 AR pistols that are on the California handgun roster, meaning that you can buy them at any gun store, even the big box stores that don't like to do things. And if they're not selling them, that's on them. Now, my entire job on this channel is to talk about things that I find interesting and important, and you have no idea how difficult it has been to not share this information with anybody. I have not told a single soul about what I'm talking about today, and what I'm talking about today is a on-roster P320. I've gone on record before saying that I think if you're going to get a off-roster pistol in the state of California, that you should probably invest in like a P320 because of the versatility of that gun, since the firearm is the fire control unit and not the frame or grip like on a Glock or any other traditional firearm. The 320 series and the 365 series both share the fact that the serialized firearm is the fire control unit. Now, before we talk about what the details of this brand new on-roster Franklin Armory P320 is, I want to give a quick shout out to a few companies that have been supporting me. Got to give a big thanks to Route 66 Shooting Sports Park. If you are in the San Bernardino, California area or just in SoCal, I highly recommend you check them out. Not many ranges set up in the ways that they are set up that allow you to shoot and move and shoot quickly, draw from a holster, shoot competitions, or if you want training, they have excellent on-site staff members that offer training courses very often. They do Stop the Bleed courses, and they also host some very well-known, highly regarded trainers out there. So if you're in the area, Route 66 Shooting Sport Park down in San Bernardino, California, check them out. If you're in the San Jose area, check out Manzano Tactical. I've done some training with him. We share a lot of same core common beliefs. I'm just doing this shout out because I'm being nice and because I really do appreciate Kyle. Hopefully we'll have some very cool information from him soon, but again, tight lips. If you tell me that I can't tell anyone about it, I will die with that information. Just like I was willing to die with the P320 information from Franklin Armory. Also, if you want to use any of the links down in the description below, Gorilla Mind, great supplement company, get your blood work done through Merrick Health, that kind of thing. But what you actually tuned in for. Now, this is not talking about the Boland v. Bonta roster case that I am involved in that would potentially get rid of the handgun roster completely. I will be going to court on January 23rd to testify in that case down in SoCal, so that's exciting. But today we're talking about something that's very interesting, very awesome. Franklin Armory is going to be announcing, I'm getting first cracks at announcing this. Franklin Armory is announcing their P320, the Franklin Armory CA320. And what this gun is, I'm going to have some photos overlaying, and just tell me if you notice a few things. This gun is a 9mm, not bolt action, you know, nothing like that crazy 3D printed Glock that I made. This is a 9mm P320 that's optics ready, meaning that you could put a red dot on this straight from the factory, which I believe is one of the only, or maybe the only on-roster optics-ready pistol that isn't an AR-15 style. There might be some 22s with rails on them or something like that. Technically the Desert Eagle, I think you could mount a red dot to that little rail, but this is one of the only optics-ready pistols on the roster. The way that this gun works is it utilizes a custom-made, molded or injection molded frame, grip module. Now on the P320, the grip module is completely interchangeable. You can swap those out. You can swap out the grip module. Really good ones are like $60. So the grip module that this gun comes with has a single round sled in it. And what that means is instead of a magazine well that you put a magazine and the gun feeds through, it has a little sled that holds one round. You lock the slide to the rear, you put a round on that sled, you close the bolt, it goes home, you can then shoot that gun. It is going to reciprocate and then close, at which point you would have to then put another round on top after locking the bolt open, close it, fire again. That is not very exciting. But I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice. I have shown myself using a CA11 that I made into fixed magazine, a CA11 AR-15 pistol from Franklin Armory that's on the roster. I made it fixed magazine, and then I put a semi-auto upper on it. I have not been arrested. Do with that information as you please. Many people that are actual lawyers disagree with the DOJ's wording on their website, which is different from the penal codes and the law. The wording on their website says that conversion of a on roster or a single shot pistol may be considered making an assault weapon. You don't got to worry about this as long as you don't put a threaded barrel or a foregrip or a barrel shroud on this CA320. But if you were to get your Franklin Armory P320 or your Franklin Armory CA320 and then buy something like a Wilson Combat Grip and put that on it, I don't know. It's something I would do. Whether you do it is entirely up to you. The entire market of on-roster AR pistols has proliferated in the ways that it has, and the DOJ has not cracked down on people converting those to semi-auto as long as they aren't making assault weapons. I believe the only person that we know of that has been publicly well-known and documented getting in trouble with a semi-auto CA7 was Jalen Rosales, a police officer in San Francisco who one of his cop buddies looked through his bag, saw that he had an assault weapon configuration CA7, and then he got arrested and his life got screwed over. So something to keep in mind, but many high-profile individuals, including myself, it feels weird calling myself that, but I personally would be comfortable putting a normal grip on this. Now you're probably wondering, can I just cut out the little sled? No, if you look at the grip on the CA320, the grip does not actually have a hole drilled out for a magazine release. You cannot convert that by just cutting out the little sled. You're gonna need to get a new grip. And now you might be wondering, the big elephant in the room, well, I know that the Second Amendment Zone and the NorCal Firearm Supply, the companies that do the single shot exempt non-roster 320s, they're charging like $750-ish for the service of doing all that because it's a lot of hoops to jump through for them and it's hard for them to source the FCUs. So you're paying like $750 for the FCU, and then on top of that, the slide, barrel, frame, grip, mags. With the Franklin Armory, all you need to do is buy your on-roster CA320. Go out and buy a really nice grip, like a brand new Wilson Combat Grip for like $60. Then buy some mags, and you got everything you need. The barrel's 9mm, the slide is optics ready. You could put a red dot on it if you want, or just use the factory sights. I believe there's night sight options, and I believe there is also regular sight options, but that's gonna be up in the air. The iron sights being night sights or non-night sights don't affect the roster status, and that's confirmed from the DOJ. That's how all the Glocks have 700 different variations of different night sights that you can get. So this gun, $950 plus a $50 grip and some mags. If you look at the used market on HANDGUNs, the typical going rate for a 320 that's pretty well used can be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. And you don't know what kind of condition it's been in, you don't really know what it is. You're just kind of getting what you can get when you can get it. This is going to disrupt that market completely. This is going to be a game changer. This gun has a physical safety on it, but from what I'm aware of on the P320 fire control units, I believe you can remove the safety. Whether you choose to do that or not, that's up to you. This gun, the photos that I've shown, some of them have the curved trigger, some of them have the flat trigger. The production models are going to have the flat trigger on it, which I personally really like. I like the P320 trigger. The factory trigger is better than any Glock trigger that isn't super expensive or race gunny, and it's been very reliable for me. You might be wondering, well, what about the whole issue with the P320 going off on its own and shooting people when they get dropped? Well, To be put on the California handgun roster, the CA320 had to be thoroughly drop tested. So, the CA320 is a P320, it's drop safe, and it's on the California handgun roster. You can get this from any gun store. This got put on the roster, I believe, yesterday around middle of the day, end of the day, and Franklin Armory is not going to be publishing anything until Friday. Today is Thursday, and I'm going to be uploading this video today on Thursday. So you're getting first dibs, first crack at the first looks at it here. I'm really excited about this. I'm very curious what you guys have to say about it. Would you pick one of these up? Do you think it's worth it? Personally, I think that I have always thought that the P320 and the P365 are the two off-roster handguns that would be worth purchasing at the higher price because of the way that you can modify them and change them. If you want to put a super long slide and a super heavy metal grip on it, you can. It's pretty expensive. If you want to get the compact little Glock 26 size frame and grip and slide and barrel module, you can. If you want to throw that in your brand new Strike Industries SMC, you can. And since this one has a physical safety, it would be a better host for your PDW style P320. I'm really excited about this. Unfortunately, I don't have one currently in my hands, but they're going to be sending one out to me. The whole problem with it being on the roster and the timing of this news is that with the California 10-day wait issue, if they sent it to me, I wouldn't be able to talk about it with it in person until it's already out in the open. And we wanted to be able to share this information with you guys. I'm very thankful for what Franklin Armory has done for me. They were one of my first sponsors, so you got to kind of keep that in mind. I'm not going to be able to do a true review on this because Franklin Armory and me, like, we're peanut butter and jelly, you know? We just go great together. And I have a good relationship with the people that work there. I really like what they do, and I'm obviously biased because of that. But taking an objective step back, this is the cheapest way, and it will be the easiest, most readily available way for anyone in the state of California to acquire a SIG P320 style firearm. And it's got good features, and it's about half the price of what you would have to pay if you got it on the secondhand used market and you're getting a brand new gun. If you think that's interesting, let me know down below. If you live in another state and you don't care about that kind of stuff, let me know down below. If you thought that this video was going to be about the 4 court cases in front of Benitez, today technically is the day that the spreadsheets were due, but here's how this works. Both sides of the defendants and the plaintiffs in those 4 court cases had 30 days to give a list of all of the applicable laws in those court cases. Both sides have 30 days to write briefs responding to and talking about those laws, and then they have 10 additional days to write response briefs to each other's briefs. And then at some point after that, Benitez will make a ruling on those 4 court cases challenging the assault weapon ban, background check for ammo, the magazine ban, and the billy club ban. So those 4 court cases, sometime later in February, is when we should be keeping our eyes open. If you see me talk about a Freedom Week type case video, click on it. It's going to be worth clicking on. I'm not going to make a lot of videos talking about just the fact that they uploaded some documents. If you see something like that, you're going to want to watch it. Let me know what you guys think down below. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.